What is going on, everybody? It is Josh with AVS Fitness here today. This is a video I have been wanting to do for a long time now. You can see I got a nice fancy presentation here. It's not going to be a terribly long video today, but this is going to be super helpful for you guys who are starting to try to write your own programs, or maybe you don't want to always rely on finding programs on the internet. This is information that I've learned, and it seems very, very basic, but a lot of times it goes unnoticed in people. This is partly stuff I've been learned in my internship, and I've got an announcement related to this at the end of this video, so stay to the end. You will hear my spacebar clicking as I go through here, so I apologize if it is loud. Let me put my phone on mute. Alright, this is beginner programming, okay? Do not get distracted by the word beginner. These are things that everyone should take into account, whether you are never trained before or at an elite level. The word beginner is mainly in terms of how in-depth this is going to go, as in this is sort of a first step into learning how to do it. So let's jump right into it. So this is probably going to be a given for most people, but there is something specific I want to touch on in here. But as far as your training variables are, as you guys have learned in probably your basic high school science class, whatever, variables are things that you will change, okay? So this can be, to name a few here, sets, repetitions, time, rest periods, etc. The key here is to utilize these to your advantage. So I think that like places like bodybuilding.com that have a lot of programs, that is a great resource for people who don't want to write their own, don't have time to write their own programs, or you're just looking for a good routine. Those are great to start out with. The only issue I have with these is, it typically involves you doing the same workout for 8 to 12 weeks or longer, okay? Our bodies get used to things, okay? In the same way that we have, adapted and changed to different stimulus, in the same way that we get used to something, we get used to training, okay? So if you do a 5x5 workout plan for 3 months, it's only going to get you so far. Now, if you are a beginner, if you're a beginner into training, so if you have never trained before or you have very minimal training experience, pretty much no matter what you do is going to give you some sort of progress. So that's why a lot of people see a ton of improvement with a very basic program like a 5x5 program, starting strength, stuff like that. They'll get crazy strong in their first 3 or 4 months and think, well, this is the program for me. I'll never come off of it. The problem is, because your body had never seen training before, it pretty much went berserk when you started training, okay? And it adapted to that, but you will adapt to that and get used to it, and that's how your strength slows, that's how your progress plateaus, and that's what people end up complaining about. So the key here is, if you're smart about it, even when you start training, yes, you can afford to not have as much variation. So if you've never trained before, you might only look to change sets and reps, maybe rest periods for your first 3 or 4 months. Every 4 weeks, as we'll see here. More experienced people, sorry, there's a siren going off in the background. Try to wait till it goes away. Yeah, it should be fine. More experienced lifters have to change these things constantly and use other means, like resistance bands, chains, time under tension, tempo, stuff like that. But if you're just getting into this, I only want you to worry about these for now, okay? Something else to keep in mind too, like I just said, adaptation. If the body's going to get used to things, you should be looking to, even if I would say minimum intermediate lifter, every 4 weeks you should be changing something, all right? You don't want to be doing the exact same thing for more than a month, all right? So keep your body guessing, all right? Active variables. Again, guys, this seems like a given, but a lot of people don't realize this, okay? Be smart, all right? You emptying your tank every single workout, grinding. Okay, yes, people always talk about, I'm grinding in the gym, I'm going hard. That's great. You should be pushing yourself with exercise, but the amount of time you spend injured and have to regain that progress is not worth the stress. So I am not at all saying don't strain your body. Strain is something a lot of people don't know how to do, and you need to learn how to do it. So learn to push your body to its limits. But what this means is, and this is the example I give here, let's say You've done your warm-up and you're on bench press, all right? Let's say your workout today was 5 sets of 8 with a slow 3-second eccentric and then a fast up, okay? Let's say you get to your 4th set, all right, and maybe you over-guessed on your weight a little bit, or you overestimated how much you could do. Let's say you fail on set 4 on the 5th rep. What does that mean? To most people, they keep the weight on and go ahead and try that 5th set, or they would back the weight down. There are times where you should back the weight down and do that 5th set, but if you fail, don't push it. Your chance of injury goes up dramatically when you go for that 5th set after failing in the 4th. So again, there's a fine line. I'm not telling you to not strain. I'm not telling you to not push yourself, but be smart about it. Listen to your body. It's that easy, okay? Now, like I said, that's not always the case. There are some times where you should lower the weight and do another set. Typically, if you're doing, speed work, dynamic effort days. So maybe in that case, if we were doing that tempo bench press for 5 sets of 8, if I failed with 135 on the 6th rep, maybe I'd go down to 115 and try a 5th set, all right? But if it's a heavy day, if I'm doing 5 sets of 3 and I fail on set 4 on the 2nd rep with, 225 pounds, probably not going to bump it down and do it, all right? It's not a good bet, all right? So be smart, listen to your body. You'll have a much longer exercise career and your body will thank you for it, believe me. Progression. So kind of like the adaptation we were talking about, progression can be tricky because once you start using different variables and once you start changing your workout, progression should not always just be more weight. And it's true, increasing the weight or number of reps you do is progression, but that's not what progression always has to be. You want to figure out how to progress your body without tearing it up week in and week out, okay? And this means using speed work. This means using time under tension, use tempo. So like I said, your body is going to progress when you give it a different stimulus and force it to change to adapt to that. So my max bench might be 225 pounds, but if I take 135 pounds with a resistance band and I slowly do an eccentric lift for 5 seconds and then press up, if I've never done that lift before, my body's never seen that before, and it's going to have to change and improve to adapt to that, okay? Does that make sense? This is a hard concept for a lot of people to grasp, but, because you get a lot of meatheads that think, oh, if I just move more weight, I'm going to get bigger and stronger. That's true, but when does that stop, all right? Human bodies have a limit, and once you start to get so strong, you're not going to be able to max out on squat, bench, and deadlift every single week, all right? So the key is to find out how you can make your body improve without using a ton of weight every week. All right, so like I said, use time under tension, use tempos, shorten your rest periods, make your body work harder lifting lighter amounts, okay? And for those of you that are going to say that that's not the way to do it and you need to grind in the gym, that's fine, but I challenge you to see which one of us is still lifting 20 years from now, all right? And that's the point, is if you want to be in this for the long haul and you want to see progression for your life and you want to stay in this sport, you got to do this, okay? This is key. And last but not least, for this little talk, we have nutrition. I'm not going to go into a ton of depth on this, mostly because I'm still learning about this myself. But one thing I did say, I believe in the New Year's resolution video, which you can go back and watch if you haven't yet, is that a lot of people try to tackle the training and nutrition in one go. One thing I would caution you on, if you're a person who struggles with sticking with the plan in the past, or has struggled, my apologies, pick one. Okay, so if you decide to start training and theoretically you've tried and tried and tried, I wouldn't necessarily worry about nutrition. You want to create that need, okay? If you ever heard of people having like runner's high or something where they have to run, you want to create that need. You want to create that feeling where you feel weird if you're not in the gym or you want to work out. You understand? And then once you create that, that'll be second nature and you won't even feel like you're dragging yourself to the gym, and then you can tackle nutrition, okay? These are super general things and there is controversy around them, but in general, these are very generalistic ideas. Eating more protein will help with recovery, okay? I'm not saying that you should go out and buy a tub of protein and do a 2-scoop shake every time, but what I'm saying is, if you eat, let's say you eat meat every night for dinner, maybe try to time, well, not necessarily timing, but I'm trying to figure out how I want to word this. Higher protein will help in recovery, okay? Timing your carbohydrates after you work out will also help in recovery. Even if you're doing low carbohydrate, maybe the little bit of carbs you have every day, do it after you work out. Okay? In general, try to time it after or before either one. You don't want to be having super heavy carb breakfast and everything. That'll be another big video. We're probably going to do a whole series on carbs and nutrition. I'm going to kind of stay away from for now. But in general, higher protein will help, and post-workout carbohydrates are going to help with recovery. As far as supplementation goes, me and Matthew know a lot about supplements. We've both worked in that field. It's going to be at your discretion, okay? And things we always tell people when they come in is that supplements are not going to replace anything. So buying that fat burner is not going to, do anything if you're not working out, okay? So the biggest thing is supplements are there to do exactly what it says, which is supplement your current actions. So that's all I'll say on that. Again, we'll probably do more in-depth videos on nutrition and supplements at a later date. And that is the intro to programming. So if this was too basic or not enough information, I do apologize. We are going to do this in steps, so I'll probably be doing other videos adding in more information. This was just sort of a big umbrella overview to get you guys thinking about writing your own programs. So like I said, think about the variables, train smart to avoid injury, find different ways to progress. It doesn't always have to be up in the weight or up in the reps, and tackle one variable at a time as far as your training and nutrition. Add in nutrition after you've been training and you know you're going to make it to the gym. That's when you can start changing your nutrition, okay? So please drop a thumbs up if you guys like this video. I'm here to help you, try to feed you guys some knowledge. The announcement I wanted to make was we've decided to go ahead and sort of offer some, not entry level, but sort of the beginning stages of some online personal training and program running. So that is now a service that we at AVS Fitness do offer. Based on my knowledge and my education / certifications, it will most likely be done majority by me. But if you've worked with Matthew before or you'd like to work with him, you can let me know. So we don't have a website up and running yet. And I didn't really feel like listing out all the services, prices, and everything because it's sort of an ongoing product, I guess. And we really only want to work with people who are serious about it. So currently we're looking to offer things like a training plan. So we'll do your program writing for you, and possibly looking at a diet plan if that's something you're interested in. So if this is something you guys are interested in, please send us an email. That would be very helpful, even if you don't think you're ready for it, but you might be interested, at some point. Shoot us an email saying, hey, introduce yourself to us. Tell us who you are. Tell us a little bit about yourself and say, hey, I might be interested in a training plan, okay? So that is in development right now. All training plans will be personally written for each person based on your goals, your weaknesses, and what you want to accomplish, okay? So that's the biggest part, is that I'm not here to sell you an ebook or anything, all right? We're here to write a program for you that's going to help you get better. And if that's getting stronger, leaner, more endurance, whatever, all right, we can write a program that's going to help you, all right? So, like I said, drop a comment, send us an email. I believe our email is in our YouTube channel description, but if not, I will put it at the bottom of this video. And honestly, guys, I love getting emails, so even if you don't want this, but you still want to introduce yourself, send us an email, all right? We're always open to that kind of stuff. If you guys have maybe a fitness journey you want to share, we've kind of thrown around doing like a podcast style YouTube video too. So, let us know about maybe a transformation you had or sort of your journey to fitness. And who knows, you might end up on a video. So this was an awesome video to do, guys. I hope you got something out of it. Send us those emails, those comments, share the video, what have you. And we'll be back with AVS Fitness here in a couple weeks.